have just 5 minutes for a quick round of questions. Ganesh, Simran, if you could. I don't know if Natasha is here. Yes, please. If you would just. If anybody has any questions, yes, we'll just collect all the questions at a go. We have a question for Coimbatore. Sorry, could you please introduce yourself and then?
Project cost, I think, was in a total about 350 CR. We did seven odd lakes, like I told you. It's a big project. There were many DPRs. I'm just telling you the overall cost. And this one point which I forgot to tell you was that the project. I mean, everybody was talking about challenges and solutions, but we worked with the smart city, and there was an SPV, and we all would sit across a table. So we had drainage and traffic police and the highways and everybody on that table, and we would show the proposal and decisions would be made there and there. So there's no we had to pick up fights with highways. They wanted to extend the highway onto the lakeside, and we told them, sorry, we don't have space even to do our walking thing. So things like that. But what I'm saying is that kind of a mechanism which allows uh, like a multi cross-sectoral decision being made across a table, and because it's a smart city project, it happened. So everybody criticizes smart city, but for me, I think that was the game changer. I mean, I can't imagine this project going through if that kind of a structure was not there.
There's a. Avinash has a question.
These spaces begin to look this way with these investments. Uh, is there an elite capture that one observes? Once it gets cleaned up, once it gets good, better, slowly then it's a completely different of segment of society that comes and engages with it. So how do livelihoods and in the calm story, Natasha, you talked about livelihoods a little. So how does that play itself out? The informal engagement with these spaces and informal livelihoods that engage with these spaces, however dirty they may be, if there was, does that get displaced in this whole place?
It's on.
Specific to the CAM, since your question is about the CAM, the spaces that we've worked in, there were no informal livelihoods associated with them whatsoever. They were inaccessible, these spaces. So they were only used for dumping of C&D waste, you could say. I don't know if you want to consider that as a livelihood option. It was a temporary space to dump C&D waste wherever accessible. Taking away of sand, you mean the illegal sand mining, that was happening. So those were things that were to be stopped in any case. Those were illegal. So I don't think, I mean, there was no accounts of livelihoods being lost to restoration. And as for your question of elite capture, that hasn't happened either. These spaces are being used by people across the board, and more so by people who don't have access to public spaces or malls or whatever it is where the elite generally go to spend their evenings. So it is being used by people from across the board. And specifically about livelihoods, there are fishing communities along the Kham in the Jayakwadi area that are dependent on fishing, that are seeking a ecotourism based addition to their livelihoods, which is also something with the forest department that is being, trying to be introduced. And the pull from the communities is immense. So, to answer your question, positively, there is not sidelining and elite capture of anything of that kind happening with these river restoration efforts, which are very community driven, very low cost. We are not creating big promenades and putting big, entry fees and stuff like that. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
I would like to add on to this. Not every city is that socially sensitive many times. Many times they just believe that these people should be removed off. Like in case of Gorakhpur, what we are seeing is with the rejuvenation of the water body and the river. So this all actually depends upon, like we talk of the governance and the overall administrative vision, how they are visualizing their riverfronts or the waterfronts. Actually, it really depends on that. For Gorakhpur, they are actually visualizing their waterfront as a upcoming commercial hub, which they will be selling off to the real estate market for sure. But similarly, at the same time, parallelly, when we see in Buxar in Bihar, the administration is so sensitive towards the religious communities and the local fishing communities living there, and the tribal communities being settled on the north side of the Buxar. They are so sensitive that they are incorporating those design features so that they are not displaced and actually incorporated within. So that kind of vision actually comes from the administration, and how are you governing from top, and what is being translated.
Yes, and just to add to that also, our administration also, our municipal commissioner is very sensitive to this aspect, does not want anyone to lose their livelihoods, even when it is borderline illegal what activities are being done. So, and it's not so easy also. So it's a fine balance, and from full credit to our administration and to the entire team for being sensitive about it. Some things you have to, you know, put your foot down. The corporation decides that they're not going to allow certain activities, and I have realized that it's for the benefit of the larger public good. So those are stopped, but generally, like all the uh, cow sheds and such which are also illegally on that land still continue. Their dung is released directly into the river. We're trying to work out biogas options, other slurry treatment plants, things like that, keeping their interests and the river's interest in mind. So it's always something that we've you know consider before taking any action.
Yeah, this is for National Institute of Urban Affairs. Ma'am, do you have any specific project for Bangalore Lakes? Any work is done on that?
No, we have not
Then
worked
I
on.
request you to have a branch in Bangalore also, ma'am, because we'll be able to.
Sure,
I can
we'll
be a part of it.
definitely.
Any of all the even
Currently,
Jana can be a part of it because we are losing lakes, we are losing stormwater drain, and all this policy matters. No, they're reducing the boundaries of the lakes in Bangalore, and interconnectivity of lakes in Bangalore is already gone. A lot of work is done on that. So I request your director to come to Bangalore, have a center of excellence, or you have a tie up with
sure,
Jana. This
sure.
one. So we
And
all
yeah,
who are working on environmental rejuvenation, we can do something for
yes.
it before
Sure, sure. I'll
everything goes.
definitely
Thank you.
convey this. Though we also have a River Cities Alliance with 146 cities across India that I was mentioning about the examples across. Bangalore is yet not a part. So maybe if Commissioner agrees, we can make Bangalore a part of it. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you. In the interest of time, I think if anybody has any other questions, we can. Okay, maybe we can do one last question.
Akash, I saw your work, excellent work on that lake bed and all. So one quick point, huh? Can you hear? Yeah, this is Mahesh. I work in the e-waste management sector and close to sustainability. I was seeing the lake bed and all. I felt that it's more of a cosmetic thing because I found I could see cows when the cosmetic elements were not there. The moment cosmetic, I normally walk in Mysore lake called. There's a lake and there's a mud bed there, and that's close to the ground. Grounding happens, grass, mud, and all. So can we design that keeping nature and more on nature friendly design rather than a cosmetic design? And the plants, they don't give oxygen. It's more of a cosmetic element. Can we be more nature friendly?
I don't know how fast I went on the show, but when I was explaining the lakes, we did a categorization of what we call urban lakes and natural lakes. Then we did a categorization of each lake where we had an urban edge and a natural edge. What I've shown you pictures of are of the urban edge. That's why this perception that you have But like I also explained to you that the cleaning, the biodiversity, the natural slopes, the emphasis on nature, on NBS, on wetlands, on the native planting, all that is there, which unfortunately doesn't get noticed because you tend to notice the action. So the action, like I think overall, all through the day, there has been a consensus that if you do only nature and don't have anything for people, then again, it's not going to work because it will just fall flat. So if you have nature and activity, then both kind of help each other to thrive better. So there's a whole natural edge in each lake which has been left very very kind of I mean more natural than what. So these are only spots where we wanted to create a buzz so that people do get attracted. And by the way, Coimbatore, I don't know how many of you know here, but all the people who come to Coimbatore because of the airport, they are either headed for Munnar or for Ooty or for here or for there. So in terms of holding on to people inside Coimbatore, the Coimbatore tourism was more working like a transit stop. So now with this project, what we were also intending to do is that allow people a reason to stay back one night in Coimbatore to go around and see these new public spaces that are there. And we have these interesting I Love Kowai and interesting spots that I showed you. These are not only destinations for the locals to enjoy, but they've also become part of the tourism map of anybody visiting there. So the whole idea was to increase footfall, increase livability, make lakes walkable. People who are staying around the vicinity of the lakes earlier were you like everybody has showed you examples. I mean, people were turning their backsides towards all these natural. Today, we are creating a positive vibe, and the whole edge of the lake is something that has seen property prices kind of appreciate, and people want to be staying around the lakes. People want to have access so that they can go for a walk and use the facilities there. So creating assets, unlocking the potential. The lakes were already there. I mean, we didn't bring the lakes. I mean, it's just how you perceive asset which is there, how you unlock the potential while respecting nature. So I don't think in terms of nature, with the kind of experts we had on our panel, I mean, I was only being told what is not to be done, and which I've adhered to the T. So all the biodiversity experts, all the native plants, everything is as per what they want. So the environmental social aspect of it was super strong, and the placemaking, what we showed you, is the impact. Just to tell you that a water body which was earlier a dumping ground today has become like so popular that everybody wants to go there, including local and including marginalized. So what she was saying about poor, there are in some of our spots you'll find people who do not have any other open space. Today they come there morning, evening, exercising, walking, meeting friends. So it's like social, like a cohesion that you're creating between communities and between people and their natural assets. So we think of this as more like cultural heritage that the city is now celebrating because of this project.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Akash, for the detailed answer. In the interest of time, we will have to move on for a quick short coffee break. If you do have any questions, please feel free to ask them over coffee. Before we break though, could we just convene for a quick group photo?